Hello and welcome to Cryptonews.
Today, May 9th, 2023, and the top news for crypto is as follows.
We will start with our countries and go to Canada, where the Bank of Canada is launching a public consultation on CBDCs.
This consultation will conclude on June 19th, 2023, and essentially a lot of people will give their opinion on CBDCs.
Maybe this consultation will decide whether Canada will have its own CBDC or not. Next, we'll move to our exchange, withdrawals, which unfortunately is going into Chapter 11, declaring bankruptcy. A few weeks after the SEC had accused it of having $1.3 billion in illegal revenues, the exchange tells us it has over 100,000 creditors and owes anywhere from $500 million to $1 billion. Moving on, OKEx is going global and will open a new office in Turkey in the next few months. I will continue without further comment on this particular OKEx move. Now on to Binance, which is closing withdrawals on its Bitcoin exchange for the second time due to the popularity of Bitcoin and its skyrocketing gas fees. To my knowledge, withdrawals have already opened and this happened in less than 12 hours. According to new data, the BRC20 tokens and NFTs that Ordinal has made are worth close to $1 billion, their capitalization. Gas fees for Bitcoin are at an all-time high for 2 years, as you can see from the thin line on the edge of the chart. It looks like we're at the same levels as when Bitcoin had its big rally in 2021. In terms of gas fees, we have a bull run right now in Bitcoin. If you're interested in Ordinal, you should know that it now has its own currency called Orbi, and you can find it on some well-known exchanges like Gate.io. It started trading yesterday, and is already in nice mintage. However, wait a bit before buying it to see how the price develops. Lastly, Binance is shutting down and opening withdrawals on the exchanges due to high demand for Bitcoin and NFTs. Well, I've found that Binance has been shuffling billions of Bitcoins in the last few hours. What actually happened is that Binance moved over $5 billion in Bitcoin, which represents 30% of the net Bitcoin reserves that the exchange holds. As far as I know, they moved it between hot and cold wallets. However, these moves were made shortly after Binance closed its withdrawal from its exchange. So, I'm thinking that maybe Binance wanted to move some of its Bitcoins and that they're telling us that if they did it normally with as much demand as Bitcoin is in right now, the transaction wouldn't take place until next year. So, they closed withdrawals to lower the transactions, and because they were closed, no one could do it, so they could move their own money faster. But that's just something I'm saying. It's not necessarily true. Alternatively, Binance may have closed the withdrawals because there was particularly high demand. Nevertheless, we'll have to wait and see what Binance does to monetize this problem. As you can understand, anytime Bitcoin has a high gas fee and high demand, the world's largest exchange can't just shut down withdrawals on a whim. It has to do something about it. And what Binance has done or will do in the future is to enable the Bitcoin Lightning Network within its exchange. So, on days when there is too much demand for Bitcoin, they will have something else to help them, and won't have to close withdrawals, as Lassanen says. However, aside from Bitcoin having high gas fees, Ethereum also has a high gas fee rate. In this first transaction that took place about 19 hours ago, one user paid 64.01 Ethereum, which is worth over $119,000. All this for one transaction. The main reason for this is the meme coins, which have exploded onto Ethereum. Speaking of meme coins, let's look at Pepe, which is priced like a typical meme coin, but shows its true value. We're going to go to the last piece of news that I want to show you, and it's about Ripple. As you know, Ripple is in litigation with the SEC, and these lawsuits cost a lot of money in any currency or anybody in general who has ever dealt with the SEC. Additionally, according to Ripple's CEO, Ripple will have to pay up to $200 million for all the litigation it's doing with the SEC. As I've said in previous episodes on Crypto.net, this is a typical SEC strategy. When it can't easily win a lawsuit, it just tries to financially drain the opponent. With Bitcoin sitting at $27,000, the main reason for this decline, I believe, is the economic data that we're expecting. Tomorrow, the US CPI comes out on the 5th. The PPI of America comes out, and at the same time, America's jobs data come out. Those are three crucial pieces of information that will determine whether or not we will see an increase in Mr. Powell's interest rates in America or not. But I would like to think that these numbers will be positive. So brace yourself for a rise or fall depending on this data for America.
That was the top news for crypto. Today on May 9th, 2023.
Let me remind you that the content you watched is created for educational purposes only and, in no way, constitutes investment advice, only investment opinions. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and a comment which can be replied to at the end of the episode. Be well, everyone, and have a good day.